Hello, I'm Erik Roby.
And I'm Jody Leddy. Welcome to this Friday the 13th episode of Anne Arundel County Week in Review. Today we'll preview an upcoming pet adoption drive and we'll see what Brooklyn Park is doing for Earth Day. But first, making headlines this week, get out your calculator because it's budget time in Annapolis. County Executive Leopold will present his budget address to the public on Monday, April 16th at 10 a.m. Of course, you can watch the speech right here on Community Television Live. It will also be rebroadcast several times in case you forget to set your DVR. There are a lot of big issues to tackle, including furloughs for county workers, setting the property tax rate, and funding construction of schools and roads. The county budget has a little extra mystery to it this year as the state legislature finished its work late. This made it tricky to put together a plan with lots of unanswered questions about funding for teacher pensions, a proposed income tax increase and gas tax increase at the state level, and new requirements for education funding. County Executive Leopold has said that his goals are to end furloughs of county employees and service reduction days, approve funding for a new Severna Park High School, upgrade sewage treatment plants, and switch to once-a-week trash collection. We'll have the full breakdown of the budget on next week's show. Again, you can view the entire budget presentation live on Channel 98 on Comcast or Channel 38 on Verizon, or you can read it at www.aacounty.org.
Jody, there's nothing like snuggling up with a good budget book. It's budget time. Everybody's got to love it, and if you're like me, it'll put you to sleep. Well, luckily, we'll have budget highlights posted online for you as well, so you won't have to read that big budget books. So it is budget season, it's tax time, it's springtime, and there's something I'm missing. Oh, that's right, it's Earth Day. The folks out in Brooklyn Park decided to do the perfect thing in honor of Earth Day. They planted hundreds of trees.
Well, this is an exciting project. Anytime we see trees being planted, it's helpful to the environment. It helps with erosion control, am I correct?
Exactly, yes.
And here we are at behind the Harbor Valley community in the Brooklyn Park area of Anne Arundel County. An area I know well. I've knocked on all these doors over the years, and of course behind us on this direction is the Brooklyn Park community. Mm-hmm. And what we're doing here is planting trees. If you could, Bud Reeves, you're with the County Inspections and Permits, and Laura Mulvaney with Arlington Echo. If you could tell our listeners exactly what this project is, mm-hmm. and who's paying for it and why it's important. We can start with you, Bud.
This is a reforestation project paid for by fee and lieu funds. The land itself is a homeowner association property for Harbor Valley Estates, is the formal name. And we're planting trees there so they can help cut down on mowing, save them some money, and also get reforestation credit for our fee and lieu programs.
Okay. And Laura, what's your involvement in Arlington Echo?
I'm here representing the Chesapeake Connections outdoor outreach program, and that's a program that reaches out to local schools. So school children from Brooklyn Park Middle School and Brooklyn Park Elementary School have been planting here today. These trees really do a tremendous job in soaking up stormwater, so the kids have been exposed to the environmental advantages to planting trees, and we're working also on our environmental literacy requirements. So these children are also working on school standards, curriculum standards.
All right.
As well.
Can we get some of the kids over here? Come on over here.
You tell them how many trees you plant.
Come on over here to the mic if you wouldn't mind. I'm John Leopold, the county executive, and I want to thank you for participating in this program, and tell me why you're here and why you think it's important.
We're here to help stop all the water from going, the dirty water from going into the Patapsco River, which leads into the Chesapeake Bay.
Fantastic.
So we're putting up trees so that the trees can absorb the water.
Excellent, excellent. And you're a student at which school?
Brooklyn Park Elementary.
Brooklyn Park Elementary. Do you also live nearby?
Mm-hmm.
Which community are you in?
Pumphrey.
Pumphrey, great. And tell us why you think this is important, why you're glad to be here today.
So we can help the environment and the water to be clean.
Do you live in the area as well?
I live in Pumphrey.
Great, great. Come on up, dear. What school do you go to?
Brooklyn Park Elementary.
And tell me why you think this is important that you're doing this today.
Because all the waste is going down to the Patapsco River, and if we plant trees, it will help the environment.
Do you know what kind of trees you're planting? I had to find out myself. Apparently pin oak and what else are we planting, Bud?
Pin oak, river birch, black gum, bald cypress, clethra, or sweet pepper bush. What else? Southern red oak.
Let me ask you about the height of these plantings. These are about, what would you say, 4 feet or 3 feet?
Yeah, about 4 feet.
4 feet. And in 20 years, how high do you think they'll be?
20 years, they should be about 25, 30 foot high.
Fantastic.
About 6 inches diameter.
Great. Well, I want to thank all of you for participating in this very important program, and it's just great what you're doing for the environment, and I hope it'll help you in the future too when you learn more about the environment and ways that people can work together to protect these precious lands for future generations. So thank you very much for participating today.
Thank you.
What the project effectively does is create a greenway between Brooklyn Park Middle behind us, Brooklyn Park Elementary this way, and just over the hills, the Patapsco River. So when we look at the water quality in the county, this is one of the areas in our county where we really do need improvement to our water quality, and this project will go a long way towards meeting that end. But most importantly, what it'll do is have kids take positive action on behalf of the environment and know that the trees they planted will do a good thing and create this greenway, this forest between these two important schools in our community.
Well, I don't know whether you know this or not, but several years ago there was a law that said that if the county didn't spend the money for tree planting, they would lose it.
Yeah.
And I got a bill passed to get rid of that requirement, so that all
Absolutely.
that money can be used.
Yeah, and what's great about that is that it must go back to tree planting,
Exactly.
which is really, really important.
And we've got over $1 million, I think, that's available for
yeah,
that.
and that's great. We've worked with not only the permits office, but also County Planning and Zoning, or the DPW, to do some of these innovative that you visited us on, some of these stormwater management projects, which are absolutely wonderful, and nobody else in Maryland, and I would suspect nobody else in the country, is doing the kinds of innovative stormwater projects that are going on here.
Is that right?
In Anne Arundel County.
Oh, that's good to know.
And but what we're doing is we're using some of that money for the reforestation, but also engaging students in learning about the issues and coming out to help plant some of those projects. So that's really kind of groundbreaking stuff. So
it's a great program, and thank you for
yeah, well,
your
you
help.
deserve a lot of credit for your farsightedness, and also Ron Bowen from DPW does an outstanding job. We work very closely with him, and
Very good.
And all the public schools are partners in this, so it's a great team effort for sure.
Very good. We'll go down and say hello to some more of these folks down
yeah, I'm
here.
sure they'd love to see you.
Well, that is a heck of a lot of trees they planted out there. Good for the folks out there in Brooklyn Park for showing their tree-hugging abilities.
The Naval Academy has really seen its share of celebrities over the years. Presidents, movie stars, even reality star Kate Gosselin. This week was no exception. Who do you think came to visit this week, Erik?
Snooki. She came all the way down from Jersey Shore to visit the Naval Academy. It was Snooki.
You did not just say Snooki.
I did say Snooki.
No, someone much more important.
More important than Snooki? Who's more important than Snooki? She's a superstar. You can call her, I think, for like $20 a minute. Let me guess here. More important than Snooki, but I kind of think she's kind of lives near New Jersey, maybe in New York. I knew who it was. It was Hillary Clinton.
Yes, of course, that's right. It was our own Secretary of State addressing the midshipmen. We hear she really knew how to get the attention of the mids, too. She started by sympathizing with them over the Herndon climb and granting them overnight leave, which gave her a standing ovation, according to the Capitol newspaper. She also turned to serious topics like the concerning actions of North Korea testing nuclear weapons and the importance of the Far East in the world community. She fielded a question from the audience about the moment Osama bin Laden was killed and described a tense mission she watched from afar. The Secretary was a presenter at the 52nd Annual Naval Academy Foreign Affairs Conference, titled Eclipse of the West. The lecture series was started in 1970 to honor James V. Forrestal as Secretary of the Navy and the first Secretary of Defense. 4,400 mids attended the lecture, which was held in Alumni Hall.
Well, folks, there's more Week in Review to come. When we come back, not Snooki, but Robin Smalls has returned to tell us about all the great pets available at Animal Control. Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you are really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
And welcome back, folks. Well, one of our favorite guests on the Week in Review program here is, of course, our animal control folks, and we've got the director back again, Robin Smalls. Robin, thanks for joining us, and we understand that you brought a new furry friend because we had such success with getting Bonnie the cat adopted right here on this program. We've got Alistair,
That's
the
right.
cat.
Thank you again for having me. I always enjoy coming here, especially if it helps get one of our adoptable animals into a new home.
Well,
Alistair has actually been with us since February searching for a new home, and he's been on Facebook and on our website and on Pet Finder, and so far we haven't had much success. So we're hoping this new visit and new genre of visiting with the public will get him exposed to somebody who wants to take him home.
Well, somebody's going to see those green eyes of Alistair looking at him right there in the camera and say, that's my cat. That's the cat I want to bring home to play with my kids. Is a good cat good with kids?
We don't know too much about him,
okay.
Unfortunately, because he was one of the many hundreds or thousands of cats found wandering in the county on their own. And so he has made it with us, and he's just searching for a new family. He's a very friendly cat, pretty confident, as you can see. He's happily sitting in the chair enjoying the show. And he'd make a great addition to any home.
He sits in a chair better than I do. I feel it a little bit when I'm here on the show. Robin, we'll talk a little bit about, we're talking about adopting animals today, and we've got a big adopt-a-thon coming up in May. Tell us a little bit about that.
That's right. We're having an adopt-a-thon on May 12th at our facility at 411 Maxwell Fry Road. We've invited a lot of different rescues to also join us, so we're hoping to not only find homes for the pets that we have at our facility, but possibly homes for some of the pets that are with other organizations or shelters locally looking for homes, because there's unfortunately thousands of animals out there looking for a new home.
Okay, and that's just a first come, first serve event?
That's open to the public. Everybody's welcome. We want everybody to be able to come in and take a look at what we have. We'll have the alarmers will be there with some refreshments. There'll be some educational things there as well to tell the public about humane education and bite prevention, things like that, to try and get everybody on the same page, make sure everyone is as educated as they can be about the pets in their area.
Okay, well, I know that families get excited when they come and they pick out a pet that they'd like to adopt. It's important to know, will they be able to actually bring a pet home that day, or do you fill out the papers and then you have to come back?
The different rescues will have their own policies, but in terms of animals from within animal control, there are a few things that they'll need. If they're a county resident, they'll need their driver's license. They will need proof that their current pets at home, if they have any, are up to date on their rabies vaccines. We'll need to have the pets at home licensed if they are cats or dogs, because licensing is a requirement in Anne Arundel County, and either proof of home ownership, or we'll need to contact their landlord to make sure the landlord is in agreement with a new animal coming into a home. Assuming we can verify all that the same day, and it's an animal whose hold time has passed, the animal would be able to go home the same day.
Okay, and the animal is already spayed or neutered?
The animal would be spayed or neutered either prior to going home, or we would schedule the animal to come back for surgery. It would be something that they would have to comply with for the contract, but that fee is included in the adoption fee, so it's not something that you would have to pay later on.
Okay, great. And speaking of pet overpopulation, with spring comes lots of baby bunnies and kittens and so forth. And I'm hearing that you have a need for your foster program. Tell us about that.
We absolutely do. We have our foster application on our website as well as at the shelter for people to pick up. At this point, kitten season has begun, and we're getting underage kittens on a daily basis. And of course, you know, one of our concerns is that underage kittens, especially those that aren't old enough to eat on their own, can't survive in a shelter environment because they need 24-hour care. So we're looking for foster homes to come and apply so that hopefully we can help more of these animals that will not do well in the shelter environment.
And that can be a great learning experience for families with children on how to feed baby kittens and get them weaned and on their way to a new family.
Absolutely. So. It can be really rewarding. It can be tough because, of course, you know, with an underage animal, especially coming from unknown circumstances, some of them may have some medical issues that we don't know about or that may not be as visible when we first get them. But it can also be really rewarding to get to see them grow up, see them as they go through their different stages of behaviors and starting to play as they get a little bit older, and then seeing them disappear off our website as they go home can always be something fun and rewarding for people.
Well, Robin, it's a great event coming up here. I always like to see animals getting adopted. Great time of year to do it, but there's challenges this time of year when it comes to taking care of a pet. A lot of folks will be coming to that adopt-a-thon, and this may be the first dog or cat or rabbit or snake or turtle that their families ever owned. So what are some of the things that they should think about going into the spring and summer season?
Right, absolutely. So some of the main things to think about and that touch into the underage animals is keeping your animals indoors, keeping your animals on leash and confined as much as possible, especially if you have an animal that's not spayed or neutered yet. However, if you need information about where you can get your animal spayed or neutered at a lower cost, we'd be happy to provide some information for some local organizations to help with that. One of the reasons for that would be to help prevent that overpopulation if your animal's not spayed or neutered, but also that would help prevent your animal from getting loose. Unfortunately, as we spend more time outside and they spend more outside time on their own, they're more likely to look for something fun to do, and that's not always, unfortunately, at our houses or within our yards. So it's really important to keep our animals safe by making sure that they're supervised as much as possible whenever outside or on a leash. It's also important if you have an animal that spends the majority of its time outside to make sure its needs are met and that it has shelter as required by the law, that it's getting plenty of access to water, especially as the temperatures begin to rise, and that it's being well fed and has options, some cool places that it can go other than a shelter maybe, to cool off when it gets really warm. Yeah. Also, for a lot of us where pets are part of the family, we're used to taking them along with us when we go for trips or car rides, that kind of thing. So it's really important to keep in mind what accommodation your pet is going to need if you plan on bringing it with you, making sure that you have water, making sure you're not leaving in a car with windows shut or even in a car with windows rolled down as it gets really hot, because that will help keep the heat in. And unfortunately, we do see pets having heat exhaustion or heat stroke during the summer months that are left in vehicles unattended.
Well, you said it right there, Robin. I think pets are part of the family, and wouldn't you want to make Alistair part of your family? Look at this cat. We've been sitting here for 5 minutes talking about the adopt-a-thon, talking about some great opportunities to really help the pet population here in the county, and Alistair has not moved.
Well, Robin hasn't trained.
The whole time. I'm bringing you home and training my kids because my kids would be out of the chair by now. But Alistair, you're a great cat. Thanks for coming on the show. And folks, go ahead and get out there to the adopt-a-thon. Really see what Anne Arundel County has to offer out there. We've got a lot of great organizations that'll be there, a lot of good nonprofits that support the pet population here in Anne Arundel County. And of course, Robin's fine staff at Animal Control. Thanks for joining us again on the program today. Folks, we're going to go ahead and take a break, but think about that animal that you want to adopt. Get out to the adopt-a-thon. We'll see you when we come back on the other side of the break.
Yes, ready. Go get it.
Oh, come on, Randy. Animal shelter, here I come. And no, I'm not crazy or emotionally damaged. That's a stereotype. I just belong to a total loser. I'm a good dog. So if you want a pet, adopt. And if you see Randy, tell him he dropped his wallet.
Welcome back. On April 5th, 2012, at approximately 8:30 p.m., officers from the Western District responded to the 8500 block of Pioneer Drive in Severn for a report of a large fight. Communications advised that a female suspect was armed with a handgun and was threatening to shoot another individual. Joining us now is Public Information Officer Justin Mulcahy with further details on the investigation. Justin.
Officers arrived on scene and observed the female suspect standing in the doorway of an address waving a handgun in the direction of a group of subjects standing outside. Now, officers approached and gave numerous verbal commands for the suspect to drop the weapon, yet she refused and eventually fled into the residence. That's when officers gave chase and located that suspect inside of the residence without the handgun. The suspect was immediately taken into custody and the handgun was located inside of the home. Through the investigation, it was learned that the suspect was having a dispute with another female in the neighborhood. The suspect was charged with 5 counts of first-degree assault, 5 counts of second-degree assault, also 5 counts of reckless endangerment, and 1 count of using a firearm in the commission of a felony. That suspect is Tamika Annette Williams, age 31, of the 8500 block of Pioneer Drive in Severn, Maryland. Folks, we're going to move on to our second incident now. That one took place on April 11th around 10:51 in the evening. That's when officers from the Southern District responded to the area of Garrett Avenue and Dartmouth Street in Deal for a report of an armed subject. Now, further investigation indicated that there was a victim involved and that she had money taken while she was actually exiting the Domino's Pizza located in the 5400 block of Deal Churchton Road earlier. Now, that juvenile victim advised that she was standing near the front of the store when a male suspect ran up and pulled money from her jacket pocket. The suspect then ran to a waiting Jeep Cherokee that was operated by a female, and he fled the area. The victim and 2 male friends entered her vehicle and followed the suspect vehicle into the Franklin Manor community, where the suspect vehicle stopped at a residence on Garrett Avenue. The victim pulled up to confront the suspects, and one suspect approached the victim's vehicle armed with an unknown weapon. The victims then fled the scene and contacted police for assistance. 3 suspects in total were immediately located and positively identified. The male juvenile suspect was charged with theft and related charges, as were the adult male and female suspect. Stolen money was also recovered and returned to the victim, and no firearms have been located at this time. Suspects are as follows. The first, a 17-year-old male from Galesville, Maryland, a juvenile. Second suspect is Catherine Ginder, age 19, of 5513 Berkeley Manor Lane in Churchton, Maryland. Suspect number 3 is Cody Tumolo, age 20, of 1228 Garrett Avenue in Churchton, Maryland. Now, folks, as always, if you have any information on any of the crimes or suspects mentioned on the show, don't hesitate to call, email, or text your tip to Metro Crime Stoppers hotline. That number is available 24 hours a day, toll-free at 1-866-7-LOCK-UP, or text message MCS plus your message to crimes at 274-637. Your third option, go ahead and visit the website at www.metrocrimestoppers.net. Remember, phone calls are not recorded and callers remain anonymous. You might even be eligible for a cash reward of up to $2,000. Back to you.
Thanks, Justin.
This week, the Anne Arundel County Fire Department responded to more than 1,480 calls for service. This included more than 1,060 emergency medical calls and 202 fire calls. One incident this week sent smoke through a Pasadena neighborhood when fire threatened homes in a shoreline community and 2 people were killed and a major roadway was closed due to a motor vehicle collision in Davidsonville. With me now to tell us more about these incidents is Division Chief Michael Cox of the Anne Arundel County Fire Department. Chief?
The first incident occurred around 2:40 p.m. on Monday, April 9th, 2012, when Anne Arundel County firefighters responded to a reported brush fire in the 8400 block of Echo Drive in the community of Riviera Beach in the Pasadena area of the county. The first responding units reported a windblown marsh fire. Additional resources were immediately requested, including fire boats that were called to the scene to help combat this fast-moving fire. It took more than an hour for firefighters to control the fire, which consumed more than 2 acres of the marsh. There were no injuries as a result of the incident, and firefighters were able to keep the flames from spreading to any of the nearby homes. Dry conditions in our area have prompted a red flag warning to be issued from the National Weather Service. This type of warning is issued when conditions are ideal for brush and wildland fire ignition and propagation. As such, we are asking all residents to utilize due diligence during this time and ensure that all smoking materials are properly disposed of and that open burning or the use of outdoor fireplaces are discontinued until this forecast is lifted. We are expected to be under a red flag warning through this weekend. In a second incident, firefighters responded to a reported motor vehicle collision on Route 424 near Rossback Road in the Davidsonville area of the county on Monday. The first units to arrive on the scene of this 5:50 p.m. accident reported a 2-vehicle head-on collision with entrapment of both occupants. There were 2 people injured as a result of the incident. Both patients, a 26-year-old female and a 71-year-old female, suffered fatal injuries as a result of the incident and were pronounced dead at the scene.
Thanks, Chief. County law enforcement officials advised that the accident occurred when the vehicle was heading westbound, had begun to run off the right side of the roadway when they overcorrected and crossed the center line, striking another vehicle traveling eastbound.
Next, we have an update on a new art exhibit that has some very special participants. Mary Felter sat down with Mary D'Angelo of the Commission on Disability Issues to talk a little art. Mary.
Today my guest is Mary D'Angelo, who's a member of the Commission on Disability Issues for the county. I'm an ex officio member of the commission. It's my good fortune to sit in and learn a lot about what's going on to help county residents with disabilities. Welcome to the program, Mary.
Thank you, Mary. I'm really glad to be here.
I asked you to come today because the commission is having its first art show, and it's for artists in Anne Arundel County who have disabilities.
Yes.
But first we need to tell people what the commission is and what does it do.
Certainly. The Commission on Disability Issues was established in 1995, and we promote disability awareness, and we also advise the county executive and the county council on policy and legislation issues, and we work to enhance the lives of people with disabilities.
So one of the things you're doing to enhance those lives is this very first art exhibit that you're going to have. Can you tell me a little bit about the show? Or?
Of course. The show is going to run from April 19th through June 15th at the Arundel Center in Annapolis on Calvert Street, and we are featuring 23 works of art made by individuals with disabilities.
And I understand there's 21 artists total this time?
Yes, we have 21 artists in our first year. We had the Arts Council of Anne Arundel County had 3 jurors, and they judged all the work, and they selected 23 pieces for us. And we will be, the artists themselves are having the pieces framed. And then this coming Monday, we're going to work with the Arts Council and install the exhibit at the Arundel Center.
That's kind of exciting.
Very exciting.
And they'll all be coming to the opening reception, which is the Thursday, the 19th.
Yes, we're having a big splash Thursday the 19th, 4:30 to 6:30. And it's the lobby area of the Arundel Center. And about 5 o'clock, we expect the county executive, Mr. Leopold, to join us, say a few words, and he'll be giving out citations to all the artists. So it's very exciting. And we're very grateful to him for giving us the space in the Arundel Center for the exhibit.
And this is the first time you're going to do an art show. You're planning to do a second one next year?
Absolutely. This is our kind of our learning year. We are featuring 2-dimensional art this year, paintings, pictures, images. For next year, we will bat around the idea of maybe including more 3D art, sculpture, ceramics, etc. So we'll kind of revisit that after this show is over this year.
Well, I really appreciate your telling us about the show, and this is going to be a fun event. You're going to have some refreshments also?
We will have refreshments, and all the artists and their family and friends are invited, and it is open to the public, and it's free.
And people can see the exhibit through June 15th. What are the hours that they'll be able to see it during the week?
The Arundel Center is open during business hours, so Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. And then I think also in the evenings when the county council meets, the building is open. So the public can come anytime for free.
You'll be putting a little bio about each artist up with the pictures that they have?
Absolutely. Underneath each painting, there will be some biographical information about the artist, their name, their age, what their disability is, maybe perhaps what school they go to if they're a school-age child. So it's kind of exciting. We have a wide range of artists this year.
That's what I was going to ask you. You mentioned school-age children.
We have some artists that are young as 9 years old, and all the way up through age, I think our oldest artist is 65. So we have quite a gamut of artists, so it's really exciting.
Well, I'm really glad you could come in today and let people know about the show. And I'll remind our audience now. The opening show is April the 19th. There'll be a reception, 4:30 to 6:30. It will be at the Arundel Center in Annapolis on Calvert Street. And the public is invited to see the art done by artists in the county who have disabilities. And thanks to the Commission for doing this. We really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much for having us. We're so excited about the exhibit, and we hope that the public joins us.
Well, thanks, Mary D'Angelo. I really appreciate your coming in.
Thank you, Mary.
This is Mary Felter, Public Information Officer for the Anne Arundel County Department of Aging and Disability for Week in Review. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Mary. It sounds like this will be a very interesting and enlightening exhibit for all to see.
In this week's Recreation and Parks Spotlight, Carolyn Ryans gives us a preview of the upcoming events at Quiet Waters Park in Annapolis. Carolyn?
Well, we're here at Quiet Waters Park where the trees are in bloom and the park is abuzz with activity. And I'm here with Ranger David DeVault. Thanks for being on the show, Dave.
Not a problem. Always enjoy it.
Great. Can you give us a preview of some of the great activities going on here at the park?
Oh, definitely. Coming up real soon, in fact, on April 14th, we've got the Earth Day celebration, and we've got a lot of things lined up, including a lot of vendors. We've got music, we've got children's activities, face painting, and a whole lot more. And you can find that information online on our website.
Great. Yeah. Now, that's April 14th, and you've got some other things going on here at the Visitor Center as well. I saw that yesterday they were installing some new art in the art gallery.
Yes, that started a brand new exhibit, and that's going to be ongoing for 6 weeks. And every 6 weeks they have a change in the exhibit. But this one has to do with portrait painter. Let me check my notes here real quick. I don't want to get this wrong. But it's the Maryland Society of Portrait Painters. And then also we have Sharon Asherle, and that's acrylics on canvas entitled American Folk Art. But we also have a reception coming up on Sunday, April 15th from 2 to 4, and that's open free to the public, and that'll be for this new exhibit in the Visitor Center.
Great. Now, when is the Visitor Center open that folks can come in and take a look at the new art exhibit?
Okay, we're open every day except Tuesday when the park is closed, and we're open from 9 to 4, except on weekends when we're open 10 to 4.
Great. And as I was coming into the park today, I noticed the banner for Paddle or Pedal. So we've got some fun. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, yes, they just opened up in early April, and they're only open on the weekends right now, but beginning the first weekend in May, they'll be open on weekdays as well. And they have a lot of different opportunities to be out there on the South River and Harness Creek. They've got paddle boats, canoes, kayaks, and a few other things. They also have bicycles as well that you can use on the park trails to explore the park.
Okay, now this warm weather is getting everybody in the mood for a little outdoor music. So you've got your outdoor music concert series coming up. Tell us about that.
Okay, that's starting the first Saturday in July, and it'll be every Saturday in July and August. And we've got a pretty diverse slate of music on hand. And I know Kelly Bell Band will be back. That's always a big draw. But and a few military bands, but a few other ones, I'm sure. But not, yeah.
Great, all local favorites. Well, thank you again for being on the show. If you want more information on all the goings on here at Quiet Waters Park, you can visit our website, www.aacounty.org/recparks, and come on out to the park and enjoy some of this beautiful scenery. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Carolyn. Speaking of Rec and Parks, I hear you have a softball team coming up through Arundel County Rec and Parks.
Who's been telling my secrets? Who's been telling my secrets out there? Everybody's going to want to join my softball team. I don't have any more spots. Just kidding. Yes, I do. I've got a softball team. You're in the Annapolis League. You've got a little softball team out there. It's that time of year, folks. It's springtime. Weather's turning nice. People are getting out to the ball diamond, hitting a few softballs. Now, how good is your softball team? Are you guys, I'm hearing rumors that this is like lots of like semi-pro players, played some AAA ball?
We're very good-natured.
Okay, that tells me you're bad. Good nature means you're not any good at playing the game, but you have fun when you go out there.
We do have fun. We're in it for socializing, meeting new people, and getting some exercise. So tonight's our first practice. Got a coaches meeting.
Good luck.
Get my pitching arm warmed up.
So you're a pitcher?
I
really?
Will be. Yeah.
So what about the arc? Do you know all about the arc? You know what kind of arc you need to put on the ball and get it to play? 6 and 12 feet. Mm-hmm. The flatter the pitch you throw me, the further I'm going to hit it.
That's correct.
That's right.
That's why there will be a big arch, 11.5 feet.
That's not legal.
Between 6 and 12.
6 and 12. You're right, folks. I can do math here. Don't let her confuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, Jody Leddy, as I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, we're bringing on a number of county employees that you can get to know over the course of the next few months as they co-host the show here on Week in Review. Jody actually worked with our Department of Public Works doing recycling. We love to talk about recycling on the show, but now she works for the County Executive's Office of Community and Constituent Service. Jody, tell us a little bit about what you do on a daily basis.
Well, I respond to all incoming constituent calls, emails, concerns from the central and western part of Anne Arundel County. So I cover Crownsville, Crofton, Odenton, all the way out to Fort Meade, Maryland City. And then, of course, I attend a lot of community association meetings and events to represent the county executive in handling issues or concerns or suggestions, ideas coming from constituents, really maintaining a close tie between the county executive and the constituents. And then also, I do this.
Yes,
on occasion.
That's
I
right.
do
we see you out in the field
the community
from time to time.
spotlights, yes. And anything that constituents need, they're always welcome to call our office. And there are 4 of us who cover different sections of Anne Arundel County, and best job I've ever had. I love helping people. So,
You're just saying that.
I'm not
You're
just saying that.
Folks, she's just saying
That's why I was selected for the job. I love helping people.
Good.
So.
Excellent. Well, we love having you there to help folks. And Jody, I got to say, a lot of issues come up from time to time. People don't realize county government, they hear all the big stuff that's going on at the state, the stuff with teacher pension shifts, with maintenance of effort, the gasoline tax, all that stuff that grabs the headlines. But where the rubber meets the road is county government. And I know you go out there and you talk to a lot of folks from school construction to potholes. What's the big issue? What are people talking about right now?
There are a lot of watershed issues right now. So stormwater management is a big issue, obviously, in Anne Arundel County, which is very relatively new to me, being a Midwestern girl.
Yeah, you got no
I've had to learn a lot about watershed and its impacts and so forth. But this is a great time to put in some rain barrels and create rain gardens to clean that water before it gets to the bay.
Absolutely. That's what we want to do. Make sure we clean up our bay. Well, folks, that's going to wrap up this week's edition of Week in Review. You can watch this episode online anytime at www.aacounty.org. Archive episodes are always available at blip.tv and on YouTube. You can also subscribe to the free video podcast at iTunes or like us. Yeah, go ahead and like us on Facebook at Arundel TV. Please tune in again next week for more news and highlights from around your county. We'll see you next time.